sponsor today, so thank you so much for sponsoring us today, and we appreciate all your assistance. And we also have two others on there right now, which is Tara Carter and Maureen Boyce-Laking.
All right, hey Greg, just so I know, did you send out the invite per my text this morning?
I've been slammed. No, I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'm doing it right now.
Because I promised them, yeah. All right, hey, good morning, guys. How is everybody?
Good morning, good.
Yeah, all right. So let's start with lead generation. Does anybody have any questions, or have you bumped into anything recently that is holding you back from doing a deal, or an impediment that you don't know how to resolve? Anything around lead generation, any of that type of stuff? Okay, I'm going to pick on Brandon. Brandon.
Yeah.
So you called an expired listing and set up an appointment last week, right?
Right.
How many calls did you have to create to set up that listing appointment?
I tracked 15 before I landed that one that day.
Wow.
After that,
yeah, that's way less than I expected. That means your phone skills are getting really good, right?
Appreciate it.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about numbers. So this business can be duplicatable, right? So Brandon, if you're constantly tracking your numbers, and let's say that 15 rule goes into effect. Let's say every 15 calls that you make from expired, you get one listing appointment, right?
Right.
So that means if you make 60, right? How many listing appointments should you achieve?
3?
4.
4.
Right? And then you start tracking
Yeah.
your closing percentage. So can sales be scientific? Julie, can sales be scientific?
It can absolutely be numbers and data driven for sure. I don't know that the whole process can be scientific, but the numbers speak loudly.
Right. So Brandon, if you keep making 15 calls a day, and that equals one listing appointments in the expired sector only, we're talking about, right? Because each category is different. For instance, your hit ratio on for sale by owners should be 50%, because for sale by owners is really easy. All you have to do is call them up and say, when are you doing your next open house? And you should be in. If they're not doing any open houses, you would say, how are you marketing your for sale by owner, right? And start attacking that. So Brandon, I'm very proud of you. Today, we're supposed to get information from that seller, right?
Right.
Okay, so now you lead generated. We got into presenting, right? And we didn't get into any negotiations with the guy. We gave him a price, but he never pushed back, and he never asked our commission rate, did he?
Nope.
No, never did. Okay, so what's going to be your follow-up to get the guy's decision? I think his name is Philip, right?
Right.
Right.
So I sent the edible arrangement on Monday. The follow-up is going to, that's a great question.
Andrea?
His timeline was after the holidays, so probably a softer close on, getting something in place, getting something signed. I know he's trying to market it online himself, so I'm just going to add to that value on him and say, we won't charge you for any pictures or anything like that. Maybe give you a break there because he's already got them, and say, what are your thoughts on getting this marketed on the MLS as well? Probably, and that'll be the segue into, okay, sign here, and then we can do that for you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're bringing up a good point, because even though we had that listing appointment, you do have to kind of treat him as a for sale by owner. So when Brandon and I drove up, he had a for sale sign in his front yard with a QR code that was pretty, not really sophisticated, but he's trying to make a move into that area. So Brandon, one of the things you want to try to get from him today is if an orphaned buyer called him, or I'm sorry, if a buyer's agent called him, what is he offering as a co-broke? Preferably you want to get that number 3% from him. And then I love that number because I always do a football analogy where if an offense always got the ball at the 50-yard line, isn't that a big deal? Who follows football? Because we know 3% puts you at the 50-yard line already. Now you're only looking at the listing fee, right? And then we know he's going to buy something, so you can start talking about a buyer-broker employment agreement and package it. Yeah?
Yeah, I like your thoughts about the open house, like treating it like a FSBO, like you're saying. When is your next open house? Are you open to us helping you market it that way? And does it have to be on the MLS to do that, though, is my next question.
Yes, because the new NAR rules are good segue. I got a call the other day. I did put a coming soon sign up, and it's not in the coming soon section of the MLS. And the board called me and said, hey, you know, an agent called us and we see you got a sign up as a coming soon, and we don't see it as coming soon in the MLS. The guy's name was Chris at the Scottsdale board. And I said, what? You know, and I looked into it, and sure enough, it's a $500 per day fine. So I got that handled really quick, and I got a warning. But you know, equal access is a big deal right now. So Brandon, let's make that call early. And if you have his number, I'm willing to make that call live right now, and let's see how it goes. And you guys can hear some of the objection handlers. Are you guys up for that?
Yep.
Brandon, what do you think? Because I don't want to step on your toes. I think we lost Brandon.
Let's
What's
go
that?
for it. I'm grabbing the number
for it.
right now, and we're doing it.
All
Yay,
right.
Brandon!
Okay, so I got to wait for my cell phone back from Andrea, so I'll shelf that for now. But Brandon, go ahead and look up Philip's cell number.
Brandon, please tell me you're not driving right now.
I pulled over.
Thank you.
Okay, Brandon, so let's do some lead follow-up and find out what Philip's going to have for us. And we'll be a little ready. Let me grab a pen. All right,
Okay.
Brandon, what's Philip's cell number?
Cell number 617-909-3704.
Okay, and do you remember his significant other's name? She wasn't there, by the way, guys. It was Philip.
It was an M. I don't remember. It was. I'm not sure.
Okay, but his name was certainly Philip.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Dr. Philip. Remember his last
Marcella.
name?
Marcella is the wife, and James is the last name.
Marcella and James. All right. Now it's highly likely he won't pick up. Brandon, have we ever texted him?
Nope. He said to not touch base with him until Thursday. I did send him a CMA via HomeBot though on Monday with the edible arrangement.
Yeah, and what price were we recommending again?
We were doing 80. I think it's 780.
Yeah, I remember 785. That's what I wrote down. Okay, so here we go. And now everybody be quiet. I'm going to have him on speaker, and I'll do everything I can to make sure everybody can listen. Here we go. So this is lead generate. We presented. Now we're doing lead follow up, and here we go. So Brandon, I'm really proud of you to continue to move the ball in the lead generation sector.
I appreciate that. Is he going to be able to hear me okay?
Well, I'm gonna tell him you're out with a buyer.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, or do you want to do the call?
No, that's. I just want to know how to play it today.
Yep. Okay. So
other,
no worries. All right, everybody. Hey, Greg, if you don't mind, put everybody on mute.
Everyone's on
Brandon,
mute.
everybody but Brandon is. Brandon, there you go. Okay. All right, here we go. Can you guys hear the ring? Rats. I'm going to give him a deadline. You'll see. Hi, Philip, Del Rounds, and Brandon Shaw. Hey, happy Thursday. Hey, I wanted to reach out to you and Marcella and see what you thought about our proposal. Brandon and I are extremely excited with the lack of inventory to put your house on the marketplace. In consulting with our other partner, David, we do believe that $785 is a good strike point and asking price for your house. And then we did secure the cover of the RTT Group magazine that'll be going out in December. So anyway, if you can call me when you get a moment, 602-809-7653. And today is Thursday, November, I believe it's the 12th. Anyway, I'll send you a text message also, and can't wait to talk to you. Thanks, Philip. Bye. Okay, Brandon.
Yep.
Okay, now I left a voicemail. Now you want to text him.
Okay.
And just say, hey, Del and I had a quick huddle this morning. He left you a voicemail. We're reaching out with today being the follow-up day. Okay.
Quick huddle,
And then
voicemail, follow-up day.
Yep, and then send him an email also. You don't need to door knock because he knows us, right? But you want to show a little bit of some. So what I use as a false deadline is the cover letter of the newsletter, right? Because marketing is a projected deal that you can use false deadlines. You can say, hey, we're going to print November 28th, right? So you can create some urgency there on marketing. I also use this technique for the home tours when there were home tours, or you can also use it as, hey, my photographer has an open slot tomorrow at noon, we can slide you in, right? Or you can say my drone guy is idle, he can do it tomorrow at 3, right? So you can create some false deadlines in creating some urgency with these individuals. All right, so Brandon, good job on that. Anybody else having any, so you can see that Brandon now has gone through the full cycle with one exception, and that's negotiations, and that's coming, Brandon. You know, like, what's gonna be our commission and the ultimate price, what happens if we find the buyer, et cetera, et cetera. Then you went through the full cycle. All right, any other questions on lead generation, lead follow-up, any of that kind of stuff? Scott, Scott, and I only pick on people I know well. So anybody else on the call, if I don't call your name, it's only because I know Scott really well, and some people frown on being called out in a classroom or answer a question. So I don't mean any disrespect. Scott, what are you doing for lead generation today?
I am constantly mining my database, and I just wrote a thank you note to some people who closed with me a little while ago, and then because they're in Westminster Village, and then now that it looks like that hopefully we'll be able to see each other again in the spring because they're older, I said look forward to seeing you in the spring, and if you know of anybody else who can use my help, don't keep me a secret, and sent that off. And then
I like that.
I'm sending out videos, and then I have a monthly newsletter that goes out, and then I have Facebook posts that go out 4 times a month.
Wonderful. Well done. Thank you for sharing that with us. Anybody else on lead generation?
So I got one. I actually have a past client that is, sorry, this is Jana. I know my picture's not showing up.
Hey, Jana.
He is an Uber driver now because he retired, and he has sent me 4 leads through his Uber drivers. I actually have a new buyer that's coming out of Ohio that we're showing this weekend on houses, which is great. So it's all about your SOI and people that you've in past business, I guess, is what I can say right now. So.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Always stirring the pot with your SOI is a great lead generation source. And then don't forget that if you want to expand your business exponentially, sometimes you got to take a little bit of a risk and talk to people you don't know, which is going to make you feel really uncomfortable, but you got to do it. Hey, Sandy, you want to come say hello? Sandy Carpin just gave me a heads up in the house. You can say hello to everybody on Zoom.
Everybody staying out of trouble, getting your boxes checked on your contract, making sure initial boxes are checked. Paperwork is on time. Part of business development. Okay, carry on.
Lease purchase. Sandy loves lease purchase and lease options. And prepossessions.
If I had power, I would mute you right now, Del.
Well,
Not me. Hey, look, he's a talking head.
you got me. But whatever you do in this marketplace, Sandy's exactly right. With COVID, guys, whatever you do, don't allow a prepossession, because you could be in the fight of your life with them not paying anything. So anyway, even if I was a buyer's agent on post-possession, I'd be really careful with some of that stuff. All right, so last week we were on CR. Anybody have any other questions as I close up as I close up lead generation and follow up? Okay. Hey, Brandon, did you send that text?
No, not yet, but I'll send it now.
Yeah, send it now because if he responds back, I'd like you to share it with everybody on the call today.
Okay. So remind me again. We got a huddle.
Yep. So you just want to follow up and say, hey, Del and I had a quick huddle on a marketing session on your house, and left you a voicemail. Have you and Marcella arrived at a decision? We can't wait to start the marketing, or whatever that looks like. There's no right way.
You mean wrong way?
There's no wrong way. Agreed. All right, let's move beyond back to CRMs, which is where we closed last week. So Julie, you had some ideas that were kind of cool around different strategies to follow up and around CRMs and drip campaigns, I believe.
Well, we discussed last week with Allie and Jill different CRMs and the options that are out there, and it's really important just to get one and start using it. So the first obstacle that a lot of people come against is what CRM. Once they make that choice and they get all their contacts in there, the next obstacle is, now what? What do I do? And so a lot of them have pre-formatted templates or plans in place. But if they don't, or if you're not happy with the plan that's in place, it's important to put yourself on a plan. So like Scott was saying, he did a handwritten note to some clients. I think that's one of the most powerful tools that is underutilized right now, especially with a lot of people spending more time at home. Getting the mail is a big event every day in some people's life. It's the only time they go out of the house. It's nice to see a handwritten note instead of the political ads and postcards. Hopefully those are gone. Seeing bills, it's nice to see a handwritten note. So do not underestimate the power of a handwritten note. And I think everybody in your database should get a handwritten note quarterly. So every 3 months, you should be going through your whole database, and it doesn't have to be an in-depth note. It can be, hey, I was driving through your neighborhood, thought of you, hope you and the family are well. Hope you're staying safe. Just a couple of sentences and address it, throw a stamp on it, and get it in the mail. Does anybody other than Scott do handwritten notes? Tara, I know you do. Mary, you do. Any of the agents on here? Hi, Dawn. Welcome.
Muting.
Yeah, and Craig Mernon said yes. A lot of hand waving I see.
Yeah. It really is one of the most inexpensive ways to touch base. And we're going after, people we don't know with open houses and cold calling and expires, but the power is always in the people who already know you. Like, you're going to get more deals and more commission checks from the people who already know you. Market updates is another great way, making sure that your clients know what's going on with the market. You can do that via a quick video. You can do it via social media. You can do one-on-one. A lot of people I know, Sandy has done this in the past, is every January do, the settlement statement for anybody who bought or sold a house during the year and drop it off, put it in the mail. You can also do a CMA for anybody who's bought a house from you in the last, 2 to 5 years. They would love to see right now the value of your house. You'll look like a hero in their eyes. So you can send that via email or print it and drop it off. That's a great way to stay in touch. So really, it's just making sure that you're touching everybody in your database in a variety of ways. Make those phone calls, set up coffee appointments, have client appreciation events. I know they're hard to do right now. I do have some people doing them in a different method this year than they have in the past. Does anybody have client appreciation events set up for the upcoming holidays? Del, are you guys doing anything?
We're not. Today we're doing, we sent out a digital campaign that was kind of cool, related to housing, in selecting door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3.
Oh, yeah.
And we had some fun with that. And then behind each door is going to be a prize, with the grand prize, I think, being a 60-inch TV. We're doing that in lieu of the client appreciation events, because obviously the social distancing and, it looks like the COVID rates are actually going in the opposite direction, which is really unfortunate. So we're, we didn't do our Cinco de Mayo, we're not having a holiday party. It's tough maneuvering on how you can interface with people. So what we did, and you guys you're more than willing to copy this. If anybody wants the design of what we did with this door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, just send me a text and I'll send you the prototype of that. We got a lot of, so I come home, and this is when I know at work, my wife said I picked door number 2. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, in the contest you're running, door number 1, door number 2. And so anyway, there was a little bit of a frenzy that was a lot of fun, that we should get some good engagement from.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I had an agent reach out to me. She said that she was going to continue her pie party, except she was going to do it in her front yard. And she's going to use the really big balloon, and they're going to drive by, and she's going to thank them and hand them the pie right there in their car. So really, they don't have to do a whole lot other than just drive by her house. And she said that she's had a lot of people that are looking forward to it, and a lot of RSVPs.
That's great. I have some people doing the pie party in reverse. They're dropping pies off to people's houses, so it gives them a chance to say hello, social distance, check out, the house since they bought it, whatever the situation is. It's a lot more work, but it's a way to still stay in touch and share a little bit of the Thanksgiving holiday. Anybody else? Del, are you sending out your calendars still?
I am. We just ordered them this last week, so they should go out. I like them to hit between the holiday. I'll use Christmas as a target, and New Year's. I like them to hit that week if we can.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think it's just an example of doing something, Dell's clients expect his calendar now. He's been doing that, and it's to be expected. The clients get used to having the parties and the calendars and just hearing from you. And a lot of times you don't even have to ask for business. You just touch base, stay in touch, ask how their family is. It's really still a relationship business, and we can't forget about that.
Yeah.
Now, Dell,
go ahead.
calendar, are those past clients, people you're, just cold calling? Who do you send those to? Who's your target market for those?
Yeah, so I'm not picking on your words. However, they're never a past client to me. They're existing clients, right? Because I'm constantly servicing landscapers, HOA needs, plumbing needs, electrical needs, right? Because if you can't help your clients with little things, they're never going to call you with the big enchilada, right? Which is, I got a buyer in the 3 million range. That's a very good friend of mine that was in my fraternity, right? So they're existing clients. Even when you close on the deal, they never, in my book, become a past client because you're constantly servicing them, Brandon. So existing clients, even though you don't have an active escrow with them, they're existing clients in your database. So now, with that being said, tell me your question again.
Who do you select to receive the calendar?
Anybody in my database.
And Dell, how often do you work on your database? How often do you update it, add to it, change the addresses and email addresses?
It's constant. And it's amazing. I've shared with everybody in the past. Let me see if I can put my hands on it real quick. Just on one page, how many changes exist in a database, and it's frightening. I did it in red ink. Man, if you don't stay, I'll see if I can give you kind of an overview. But it was basically a list of about, here's an example. So watch this. This is just one page of changes. See all the red ink? It's going to be kind of hard to see, but I would say on this page, there's probably, let's go with 50 names. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 changes. So you can say 10% of my database had a cell phone change or an email change, or believe it or not, people sell without you. I know it's heart-wrenching, but sister, brother, uncle, cousin, nephew, somebody else gets into the business. So it's an unfortunate change, but sometimes they move without you and just take the higher road. What I call that in business planning is staying in the flow. And unfortunately, you can't always stay in the flow. So let me give you an example. So I used to be my daughter's soccer coach. I did 3 or 4 deals on the soccer team from the date that I started coaching my daughter's deal, soccer as a head soccer coach. But then you get out of the flow because now my daughter's 21. She's in college. She doesn't stay in touch with that group of friends. So I'm not in the flow anymore. So those parents, those 4 deals that I did, whatever it was, they maybe have some younger kids that are now in the flow with another soccer coach, or the PTO president, or the Democratic leader in their community, or a judge's wife that is also licensed, or their doctor's kid is right? You don't know. But in order to stay in the flow, it's hard because you move on to different things, right? Like now I'm an empty nester. Both of my daughters are getting married. It's way different than sponsoring the book club or the readers club or the track team that doesn't exist in my life anymore. So you got to stay in the flow with different things. So now it's more about wine clubs or the men's league at the JW Marriott that I'm a part of, right? So you're not in the flow, and you're in the flow of different things. Does that make sense?
It sounds like you want to have another kid so you can get back into the flow.
Yeah, no. But you could use Darren Tackett's rule. Darren just had a baby. So you could use that. So now, you know, he's going to get the kindergartens, the first graders, and a whole nother networking system, right?
No, thank you.
Before long, you'll be a grandfather, and then you can get in that flow.
Yeah. But hey, believe it or not, the 2 weddings that I'll be hosting in 2021, I'll be networking. People will be knowing what I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and was it Jana that brought up the Uber driver? I mean, having an advocate on your team, somebody who maybe isn't buying and selling houses all the time for themselves, but they advocate for you. They pass your cards out. They are out in the community and let people know who you are and why they should use you. That's invaluable. Those people you need to take to lunch or dinner at least once a month.
Yes, I do, actually. I talk to him once a week at least. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you get to the point where you have people working on your behalf, that's gold.
Agreed.
And social media is another place to keep in touch with people who already know you and like you and trust you. Make sure you have a social media calendar so that you're not going a couple of weeks not posting and then randomly post something. And there are a lot of examples out on the internet. If Monday's, you know, community day, post your favorite park or coffee shop or whatever. Tuesday could be market stats. Wednesday could be something personal. Thursday could be helpful hints around the house, the new paint color for 2021, or how to organize your garage, whatever. It doesn't always have to be real estate in your face. Here's a new listing, here's an open house. It's really important to mix it up so that people enjoy your posts and your content. It's really all about content, and that's a great way to stay in front of people. But also it's important that you engage with other people's posts. That's more important than your posts. So saying, oh, cute new puppy, or congratulations on the new baby, or how fun, Delbert, how many houses do you have to sell to pay for those weddings coming up? I mean, comments like that are engaging and they keep you top of mind.
Love it. And agreed. You know, because I got some feedback that, you know, we post a couple of houses a week as a pricing drop or look at this type of stuff. And it got back to me that said, hey, can you make it a little bit more personable, you know, you're on a hike, or, you know, what's going on with your life, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's normally not me. But I gotta do that a little bit more often. So great feedback.
We want to see those pictures of your daughter saying yes to the dress. I mean, that's huge, Del. Out dress shopping. We got to see that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but I can't post her in the dress because.
No. Just you guys at the dress shop. And most of them have little social media things like I said yes to the dress or something like that.
Yeah. The little chalkboard thing. All right, I'll do that
and I
today.
think the first step is really grading your database, because you'll be really surprised. You may be hanging out with the wrong people, because a lot of us like to go to lunch and coffee and stuff like that with people that are fun. But you really want, just like I think it was Janet that said, you know, she keeps in touch with the people who give her referrals, you know, talks to them once a week or whatever. She's got it dialed in. So you want to make sure that you're hanging out with the people who are feeding you paychecks, you know?
Absolutely.
All right, what else you have, Julie?
We work a lot with people on newsletters. So some people do printed newsletters, some people do digital newsletters, some people do both. Scott, you mentioned that you do a newsletter. What format do you utilize?
It comes out of BombBomb, but I think Matthew pulls it. I'm not sure where he gets it from, but he simplified it. So now it just kind of looks like a little drawing with statistics, real quick statistics, like maybe 3 different statistics, and then a brief blurb, and then that's it. There's not much to it. Maybe take you 30 seconds to read and go over.
Nice.
But my name and photo are on there, so it gets it out, and that goes out monthly. And then I get the report back through BombBomb of how many people have opened it and if they've clicked on my website and things of that nature. So it's pretty helpful.
Very good. Nice. Nicole, I know you do a great job of keeping in touch with your clients also. Do you do a newsletter?
I don't know anything that I don't do.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's fabulous.
I do a newsletter. I changed it up. I was doing working with a local company called Fire Drum. They're kind of like Constant Contact or MailChimp. I switched it up to Flowdesk, which is a lot more robust as far as creating it. But man, I get 25% opens, which is unheard of for email blasts. I mean, and I just started, it's my 3rd month, so it's trickling down a little bit, but I send that out at least once a month. If I have a new listing, I'll possibly send that out too. And it's awesome because you can resend to the unopens, and you know, you just got to be careful not to put, you don't want to get blacklisted. So you just got to be careful, but
right.
But
Well, and you got to make sure that they can opt out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's super easy to opt out, but it's a beautiful, I must say so myself. It's a beautiful e-newsletter that I do. And it's awesome because you could do links back to your website or back to your Instagram. But it's pretty robust. I've worked really, really, really hard on it, but I've spent like, I don't know, 1,000 hours on Canva. So hopefully that's been reaping some benefits. But yeah, that's one of many ways. And that's like Dell and Scott and everybody going back to those same, your sphere. They're looking at the emails. They're looking at everything you're posting, and it's all cohesive together, and hopefully drives home that you're the expert in the field that they need to call at any time.
Right. Love it. I think that's fabulous. And Nicole brought up a good topic on branding. All of your materials, marketing, social media should all have the same look, so that if somebody goes to LinkedIn or social media or get your newsletter, they can see who you are, what you look like, your coloring, your logo. Everything really needs to have consistency to it so that you become very familiar to them when they're seeing your items, whether it comes in the mail or it comes in their email, or they see you at an open house. All of your materials really should have a consistent look to them. Del, I know you guys went through a whole rebranding last year, and so I think you can speak to that about making sure that everything is consistent.
No doubt about it. And I got to do a better job at that, you know, because every once in a while you'll still hear the Rounds team, and we moved away from that, you know, almost 3 years ago now. It's the RTT group, and everything's branded around that. So, you know, you're constantly evolving into what that mix looks like, because one thing for sure, as you grow teams, you want to keep your talent together. So, you know, you don't want to lose talent. So, you know, I'm really proud of Dave and Darren, you know, lasting as long as they did without their name not being on the shield. So, but every team leader has their image and their brand that they want to push, and that's their decisions, right? I mean, that's why they're the boss.
Right. There are probably 10 or 15 across the nation real estate social media gurus, and they're really fun to follow because you see different ideas and different suggestions. There's a gal in Florida, I think, Nicole, maybe you brought her up, Pinky Nose Naples, and everything she does, her clothes, her branding, it's pink, and everybody knows her, and sometimes she even dyes her hair pink, and she is dialed in to what that means. And just today she posted something about, it's not just the color, it's an attitude, like it's smiling and positive, and she's got to portray that to all of her clients. So it's really interesting how deep some people go into what the branding means, but everybody knows who she is.
No, I love that. I got it down now. Pinky Nose Naples. I mean, how big is that?
Yep.
She's great.
But she did say she's changing because she's expanded from Naples. So now she's expanding her brand to Pinky Nose, West Florida or whatever.
There's a top producing agent in South Florida as well, and her name happens to be Tara Carter. So another Tara Carter. And she's known for loving flamingos. Everything's flamingos. Even when I saw a a thank you card that had flamingos on it. I sent it to her via Messenger on Facebook. And so it's just kind of funny, but everybody
Well,
has a
remember
little
the lady, remember the lady at the Pinnacle Peak Tour? I don't even know her name, but she was the hat lady. Is anybody, I'm
Yeah, and there
dating
was
myself.
Patricia,
Lynn
please,
Ramey.
no.
Oh, go ahead. Who was it?
Her name is Patricia with Coldwell Banker, the hat lady, and I say big no. The one with the red hair, Dell?
Yes.
Oh, please. Okay,
No,
I'm sorry.
No,
It's okay.
I know. I know
Okay.
she was a lot. She was a
Oh,
big presence.
please.
Yeah.
She takes
Yeah.
her husband. Yeah, it's all good.
No,
You
no.
know
Yeah,
what? Getting back onto our newsletters, you guys. Once a month, I send out a snapshot with Cromford Report, and I'm getting a 40% open rate, which is really awesome. I feel like my sphere knows real time, real information, because there's a lot of different information floating out there. So I like to hit people with the real facts, and I think all the flowery newsletters, I don't know, I've kind of strayed away from that. But Cromford Report, that's an awesome, awesome place to go to for information to put out. And I do it with Constant Contacts, and I am getting 40% open rate.
A great open rate. So to give you guys an idea, in the backside spyware, Google Analytics, whatever you want to call it, you can see your open rate. And Helen, I agree with you. A 40% open rate is phenomenal, because I think mine is around 9%.
Time to clean up your database, Dale.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to
That's
say.
still really good. That's really good.
I really keep a clean database, because I'm not as technical maybe as a lot of you, but I'm technical enough. And yeah, I don't want to spend my time on, although I know it's not a positive message, but if people don't want to work with me, I mean, move on. I just want to go where I know I'm going to get results. So I do. I keep a really clean database. I probably add to it weekly 4 new contacts. And if they don't open it within 4 times of sending it, I'll take them off. I like to go to my database and know that they're real people that have me in mind.
Yeah, because there is, going back to numbers, with Brandon, 15 expired listing calls equals 1 appointment. Brandon, we'll see if that holds up. But there's also some numbers that you can do. I believe it's per 1,000 people in your database, you should get about a 10%. No, that's too high, because that'd be 100. It must be around 5% referral base from that. Mm-hmm. So if you have 1,000 people in your database, you should be getting around 50 referrals a year. Helene, have you, or Helen, have you heard of that before?
Yes. However, my database are past clients and customers that are still sitting on the fence, and because of the inventory being so shy. And what was your question, Del? I'm sorry.
Well, so if you have 1,000 people in your database that, let's say you're 40% open rate, I would take that 40% number of the people that are opening it and know what that number is, and then multiply it times 5%, and that should be the referrals that you're getting from your database. Normally,
yes. However, we're constantly changing and needing to be flexible in our market. So it depends. It depends upon the world and what's going on.
Yeah.
People are in a strange place right now, and you really need to have a lot of empathy and not, sometimes I can be a force, and I've had to really tone down my approach and just be more real and more empathetic towards people, I guess is the best way to put it.
Mhm. Kindness. I hear that word brought to me a lot. Julie will tell you we've had some intense conversations around kindness, because I'm one of those guys, rub some dirt in the wound and move on, very, very kind of fast. Empathy. Helen, I have that same issue. All right, so let's go to now Greg. We have a really big all company-wide sales meeting coming up with Judy Lowe.
Yes, we do.
And that is
the 17th, so this next Tuesday.
Yeah, so next Tuesday. So everybody, please mark your calendars. That's a big deal. She's going to give us a lot of industry insight. What's shaking out there, where the Arizona Department of Real Estate is heading. All very, very positive and good news. And then, hey, Brandon's still on?
Yeah.
Did Philip text back?
He's in the car, so I don't know if it's best for him to be going back and
No.
forth.
He didn't text back, but he read it.
Okay, fascinating. Yeah, because you can see those lines, right? To where you can see somebody opened it but didn't. Okay, all right. So lead generation and lead follow-up has been at least enacted with Philip. Now we just got to wait and see. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Greg, any updates that you want to wrap us up?
No, just I'm glad that you did that and let us know that we do have one individual in our office. Her name is Wendy Rogers. She's mainly out of the Peoria office, but she won her election for the Arizona Senate seat during the election. So she has offered to come and speak to us once everything starts. So once she's inducted and everything like that, then she'll said that she'd come and talk to us about it.
It's awesome.
So
Great.
Other than that, go out and get them, guys.
All right. Well, see you later.
Thank you. Have a
gulps,
good one,
huh?
everybody.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.